Hare Krishna, Namaste, Chapter 18, which is entitled as Sannyasa Yoga. Sloka 55. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyaschasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvato nyatva vishate tattanantaram. Let's do a short recap of what we covered in the previous sloka. One comes to a clear understanding that I am not this body. It is because of my own karma that I am being imprisoned in this body, so I can experience my punya karmas and papa karmas. This will continue life after life after life. If I have to change the situation for betterment, then I have to follow the instruction given by the Lord and use this body given by Him to perform certain activities by which my karma, previous karmas, will be eradicated. When I perform such activities, I must do with a proper consciousness, with clear understanding that I am not the doer. It is He, the Supreme Lord, is fulfilling all these things using me as an instrument. I am just getting engaged and involved in these activities just to simply please Him, but for not any other material gains. So, anyone who does their duty as ordained by the Lord, considering they are not the doer, they are not the proprietor of the act, and they do not expect anything out of it as a benefit, their consciousness matures and they will be finally able to attain the vision of the Atma Sakshatkara, the darshan of Atma. At that stage, he attains a great bliss. One who has seen the Atma consider everything else to be a blade of grass, meaning no value, and he is not at all affected by the dualities of this world, happiness and distress. Not only that, when he sees other living entities, he sees the Atma, not the external covering in different forms, and then that leads to vision of Antaryami, the Supreme Lord within the heart of every living entities. Whatever the unique special qualities that we discussed about the Lord becomes the subject matter of his knowledge. He realizes at that point that I am only related to Paramatma. I need to connect with Him and be with Him. That desire, hankering increases. He feels unhappy that all these lifetimes he has forgotten his relationship and how much he has wasted his lifetime, all these years. Now that I understood and realized, I should never leave my Lord even for a moment. This hankering becomes very deep. He is so desperate to be with the Lord. The moment he is away from the Lord, he feels miserable. And this is the stage where mentioned in the previous sloka as Madbhaktim Labhate Param, known as Parabhakti stage. In the commentaries of Srila Prabhupada and Baladev Vidya Bhushan, we will not find directly these terms Parabhakti, Parajnana, Paramabhakti. But the message are all same. One says it as ultimate bhakti, whereas another commentary says pure devotional service. This is what is covered in the previous sloka. Now, what is the result of that Parabhakti is explained over here in the 55th sloka. That is, after attaining Parabhakti, that leads to Parajnana. The Parajnana be as an catalyst. The Parabhakti will lead one to Paramabhakti. That is the message here in this sloka. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Through Parabhakti, one understands me well. This word abhijanati is Parajnana. Yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. What does he understand about me? That who am I? What am I? These are two different things. Number one, we know a person, who that person is. Next is knowing what that person is an added thing to who that person is. I know this person as so and so, but I should also know that what he is. Is he an engineer? Is he an architect? Is he a physician? Does he live here? Does he has an apartment? Or does he live in a house? Does he has a family? All those are the details of that person. So that is what mentioned here as Yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. He understands me completely. Who am I and what am I? Tato mam tattvato nyatva. Through that Parama Bhakti, that is knowing me, Vishate tat anantaram. He attains me. This is about those devotees who does bhakti for the sake of performing bhakti. That is his prayojana, nothing else. With that introduction, now let's learn the meaning of the sloka. Tattvataha, in truth, ya yavancha, as much as asmi, as I am, mam, me, bhaktya, by pure devotion as mentioned earlier. Tattvataha, in truth, abhijanati, he perceives. Tattvataha, in reality, mam jnatva, having, knowing me. Tatanantaram, immediately thereafter. Tataha, through the mature Parabhakti stated earlier, Vishate, he enters. Translation: one can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Here, interestingly, Acharyas have given slight different translation to what we just read now. Prabhupada says, translates Vishate Tadanantaram, as he can enter into the kingdom of God. Baladev Vidyabhushan says, he then enters me. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, he merges with me. Sripad Ramanujacharya says, he enters into me. He entering into me is the literal meaning of that sentence, Vishate Tat Anantaram. Then why did Prabhupada translates it as he can enter into the kingdom of God? He explains that in his purport. But Baladev Vidyabhushan gives a nice example to make this clear. Though Baladev himself translates that as he enters into me, but then in his commentary he says that when a person enters a city, it is perceived that he merges into the city. However, it does not become the city. This is the usage of the word vishate, to enter. That is why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also says that he merges with me. In other words, he enters into the kingdom of God, where that God is present. Prabhupada also gives another instance, an example. A green bird enters a green tree, does not become one with the tree, but to enjoy the fruits of the tree. Prabhupada also highlights that the impersonalists generally give the example of a river flowing into the ocean and merging, whereas the personalist keeps his personal individuality like an aquatic in the ocean. In simple terms, that it is not that the Atma merges into something, Brahman. Rather, the Atma maintains its individuality even after attaining moksha. With that clarification, now we'll enter into the details of this sloka in our next session. Namaste, Hare Krishna.